What is going on, everyone? Cold Case Project back again today. We are going to discuss the case of the Honolulu Strangler. So, real quick before I get started, if you enjoy the content I'm sharing on this channel, throw me a like, give me a subscribe. I publish content daily. Give me a comment below letting me know what your opinions on this case are. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the Honolulu Strangler was actually the first known serial killer in the state of Hawaii. Now, the Honolulu Strangler was active between May of 1985 and April of 1986 with 5 known victims. Now, we're going to start from the left and we're going to work our way to the right with our victims here, starting with Vicky Gail Purdy. Now, Vicky Gail Purdy was 25 years old. She was a military spouse. She had gone clubbing in Waikiki on May the 29th of 1985, but failed to meet her friends. She was last seen by a taxi cab driver who drove her to the Shorebird Hotel at 12 a.m., apparently to retrieve her car, which was later found in the hotel parking lot. The next morning, her body was found in an embankment at Kihei Lagoon, wearing a yellow jumpsuit. Her hands were bound behind her back. She'd been raped and strangled. Her husband told the police he suspected her death to be associated with her job. Working at a video rental store, they handled pornographic films, where 2 women were stabbed to death 1 year earlier. Now, our next victim we now have is Regina Sakamoto. She was 17 years old and a student at Leilehua High School. She missed her bus from Waipahu to school on January the 14th of 1986 and was last heard from her boyfriend at 7:15 a.m. when she called to tell him she'd be late. On January 15, her body was found at the Kihei Lagoon wearing a blue tank top and a white sweatshirt, but her lower body was unclothed. Her hands were bound behind her back and she'd been raped and strangled. She planned on attending Hawaii Pacific University in the fall. The second case led police to suspect the same killer as the first because of the same modus operandi. Now, our third victim was Denise Hughes. She was 21 years old and she was a secretary for a phone company who commuted by bus and was active with a Christian church. She didn't show up for work on January the 30th and was found dead at the Mauna Lua stream by 3 young fishermen on February the 1st. Her decomposed body was clothed in a blue dress wrapped in a blue tarp with her hands bound. She'd been sexually assaulted and strangled. Prompted by a third body, a serial killer task force was established on February the 5th. Luis Mederos, the fourth victim, 25 years old. She lived in Waipahu, but had gone to Kauai to meet her extended family because of the death of her mother. Mederos took a late-night flight back to Oahu on March 26 and told her family she would get home by bus from the airport. She disembarked the airplane and disappeared. Her decomposing body was found on April the 2nd near Waikali stream by road workers. She was wearing a blouse, but her lower body was unclothed. Her hands were yet again bound behind her back. Police set up sting operations using police women around Kihei Lagoon and the Honolulu International Airport. Now, the fifth and final victim to our right was Linda Pesci. She was 36 years old. She was the oldest of the victims. According to her roommate, she left on the morning of April the 29th and was expected to be home late that evening due to a pre-scheduled work meeting. The next morning, after being told that Linda had not shown up for work and that her car was parked at the side of the Nimitz H1 viaduct, her roommate reported her missing. A man named Howard Gay told police a psychic told him a body could be located at Sand Island. On May the 3rd, 1986, he told police to the exact location only to find nothing there. Police then searched the entire island and found Pesci's body. She was nude and her hands were bound behind her back. Now, at this point, the Honolulu Police Department established a 27-person serial killer task force on February the 5th of 1986 with the FBI and the Green River Task Force. The serial killer's profile was that of an opportunist who attacked women who were vulnerable, such as bus stops, not one who stalks his victims. He also likely lives and works in the area of the attacks, Waipahu or Sand Island. Police set up roadblocks at the time of the Pesci murder to question frequent commuters. Witnesses came forward saying they had seen a light-colored van and a Caucasian or mixed-race man in Pesci's car. Following the discovery of Pesci's body, police arrested Howard Gay on May the 9th as the primary suspect. The suspect's ex-wife and girlfriend described him as a smooth talker. They also provided a potentially incriminating fetish clue, as both recalled engaging in bondage activity, allowing him to tie them up and have sex with their hands bound behind their backs. His girlfriend related that on nights after they fought, he would leave the house and that these were the same nights the murders had occurred. The suspect lived in Iwa Beach and worked as a mechanic at one of the air freight carriers along the Lagoon Drive. Between 8 p.m. and 3 a.m., the suspect was interrogated. He also failed a polygraph test and was eventually released. Police filed the suspect in a $25,000 reward for information to put out by private businesses. 2 months after the arrest of the suspect, a woman came forward and claimed she saw Pesci with a man on the night of her murder. She successfully picked the suspect out of the photo lineup as Howard Gay. She did not want the witness to know who she was, as she said that she'd known him very well. Now, unfortunately, after this, however, no charges had ever been made, and Howard Gay went on living his life till his death in 2003. All this said, there's been no additional suspects, and as of today, they haven't announced any DNA trials or anything in connection to the Honolulu Strangler case. So, with all this said, you have Hawaii with not only their first serial killer case, it's also at this point unsolved, and we don't know really, unless there's any DNA evidence they do have handy, or even they're able to get DNA from Howard Gay, that these cases will ever be solved. So, yet again, like I say, give me any comments below you might have in connection, as one could think this could be Howard Gay, as there seems to be so many connections between him, some of the things going on in his own personal life, his interest in his fetishes, to what happened and the murders of these 5 women. So, all that said, as usual, I want to dedicate my usual moment of silence for the 5 women who lost their lives in Hawaii between 1985 to 1986. All right, everyone. Once again, if you enjoy the content I like to share on this channel, throw me a like, subscribe for more daily content, and let me know what you think about this case. Otherwise, Thanks again for watching. Any comments, throw them on down. Any suggestions for future cases, hit me up and let me know some more as well too. So with all that said, thank you so much, and I'll be talking to you again soon. Later.